Welcome back to the workshop. Thanks for all your feedback on my rust removal or poor rust removal on the Z3 over there. I've gone back over it. I've hit it with a flat wheel, a bit of prep disc, even the finger sander, taken the rust back down to bare metal as far as I can, and then hit it with rust converter in places, primed it, painted it mostly, still got a little bit of painting to do, but it's mostly there, which means I can get back to fun stuff, which is taking the body off this, the fiberglass Z300S body off this that I've mocked it up on, and starting to transfer it over. Today I want to get the back piece over, which I can move on my own, and get the front strip down, ready to get the front half of the body kit switched over. Ideally, I won't get the door done today, but get ready to get the door switched over as well. And then we've just got a bare shell basically to get up onto the trailer and get out of the way in time for Vince's truck to come in here. Future Tom from the end of the video says, if you like this stuff, please do like and subscribe. I forgot to say it. There we go, rear panel roughly on. I say roughly because there's some fettling needed. If you watched the earlier episode, you know that the cutouts here are for the narrower body Z3. So I just need to extend this cutout and then backfill it with fiberglass to go around this piece of the boot. The alternative being, of course, to cut the metal. I mean, I'd still have to fill the fiberglass, but you know, it's quite tempting in some ways to just sort of cut the metal off here, and so it just sort of sits back, and you can always bring the metal across here. Bear in mind we've still got to mount, in amongst the mess, the strike plate for the boot. Does that just mount there? The strike plate for the boot lid. Which goes in there like that, I think, and needs rounding off. So if we trim the metal a bit, actually we can almost use that to support this and bring it in there, which would be quite nice. Okay, don't need to think about that now. Well, I can think about it now, but don't need to do that now. But that's going to be something we'll have to think about. Do we fill this back in and just trim this metal bit a little bit here so that it comes round? That would certainly be perhaps the neatest option, rather than having this cut into the fiberglass here. So I put a few more screws in this time. Fits nicely around the door, got screws in there. Maybe need to just take a little bit off there, but bear in mind this is canted slightly forward because it's lifted up because it doesn't quite fit here. So I haven't put the screws in here. You can see this needs to drop about a centimetre in order to locate properly there, but I have managed to get the bolts in for the boot lid, so that can stay on there for now. Actually, it sits slightly better over this side, so it may be being pulled one way or the other as well. You can see it's sitting down there, so I could get some screws in there as well. But at least now now that it's on the final body, I know there's not any sort of major dimensional differences between that one and this one. I can work out exactly what to do here. And the boot lid fits quite nicely and drops down. And with that in place, I can work on cutting out the space for the high level light, doing the wiring for the boot lock, can work on mounting the this panel up here somewhere. Crunch. And we can start to think about mounting our lights, and I'm really quite excited about sorting this out now, getting the lights in, getting the number plate in, cutting fiberglass, which is scary. So next step, let's get the front taken apart, see if I can lift that big bonnet. As you can see, this bonnet's in pretty rough shape. There's no point trying to save this, I don't think. So just need to get the ancillaries off, get the water hoses off. You might as well get the locks off. They're a little bit rough, but they might be savable. The lifters off, the ground cable or the earth cable, and then undo the hinges and try not to drop it on my head. By the way, I had a trip to Lidl the other day. Always dangerous, because they had a very good middle aisle of tools. I bought a few bits, but the best buy so far has been this bit set, which I bought so I could stop using the bits out of my Makita screwdriver set and ruining those. I've been using this the last few days for assembling furniture at home, and I have to say it's been brilliant. Really pleased with the quality, the variety in there, everything you need. Feels really well made. And yeah, I can't remember exactly what I paid for this, maybe, I don't know, 8-10 quid, something like that. Highly recommended if they've still got any in stock. Once you get the mat off, it's basically just a bunch of clips to remove all this. He says confidently, I've done this before and I can't remember how I did it. Anyway, I'll work it out, pull these off, not very exciting, and then get this thing removed. Tell you what, I wish I filmed that. That was quite an impressive feat of strength, I thought. Anyway, I thought I'd have to wait for someone to help me to get the bonnet off. The bonnet is gone. It is over on the trailer, from where it will go to scrap once the other car's on. It'll need a bit of moving around first. So I need to get the little winglets off. And there's just a little bit of rust prep here and there to do before we put the other bonnet on. Actually, most of that can be done when it's already on, because it lifts up and out of the way. Just tied up a little spot here that was just bubbling a little bit. A couple more over here, but they're nothing serious. They're nice and clean underneath. So that's cool. Obviously I want to tidy up this whole under bonnet area and probably mask off and spray as much of it as I can. Haven't decided on a colour for under here yet. I'll probably use the same colour in the boot for under the bonnet. I don't want to leave it this sort of original grey. It's a bit of a mess, as you can see. You know, black would be an obvious one. Could just do it satin black. But yeah, any thoughts about what colour it should be, very welcome. It'd be quite nice to do it sort of bright orange, but obviously you can't do that because that would just get confusing with all of the electric wires. Electric blue would be quite fun. I'm sort of thinking about electric blue as a sort of contrast colour throughout this. So the electric blue calipers, electric blue under here. Could look quite nice. Can't get to all of it. I don't really want to remove, you know, all of this black stuff at the back. But I could mask off, tidy up. Difficult to get round the brake pipes because these ones are seriously stuck in. I tried removing those last time around with no success. And obviously there's bits of mounting bracket in here that I'd really like to get out. From this used to hold the power steering pump. This used to hold the heater pump and matrix. They're redundant now. Slightly loath to take them completely out because they're really useful. Like just having a flap of metal there that I could weld something to is really useful. But they could get a coat of paint. A little bit of rust in there that could do with the cleanup as well. So it would be really nice to get these brake pipes out if I can. I know bleeding this is a nightmare. I'm hopeful that the capillary action from below hasn't completely drained this. I did actually twist the brake pipes below to keep some in since they're being replaced anyway. So yeah, the wiring in these is pretty ugly. I mean, not all of this is needed now. So I'd like to do a full tidy up of this at some point and wrap it in Tesa cloth tape rather than this nasty black plastic, black vinyl tape, whatever it is. So yeah, ready really to put the bonnet on, even if it's not its final fit. One winglet off, pretty clean under there actually, which is nice. Rare treat, obviously needs cleaning up. Again, question of what you spray this. I think body colour. When I get it sprayed, I'll probably get the underside, get this, if I can get them to take the winglets off and spray under here as well. Been replacing these rub strips, but that's all right. This one's clearly been rubbing a bit too much. See if I can find some new rub strips for here. We'll lose my, unless I take that off and replace it, but we'll lose my plate there. Yeah, kind of achieved what I wanted to for the day, which is nice. Just get the other winglet off and good to go. Another side that's pretty clean apart from the leaves, which is great. No more rust repairs to do. We'll give the we'll clean up the front of the sill before I put the sill cover on and do the same as I did at the back. Take it, make sure it's back down to bare metal and treat it and paint it. But then that's done and looking good really. I'm quite pleased. So that's it for this episode. Slowly being able to just focus on one car. Get all the rubbish off there, get all the good stuff on here. I have got some other stuff to do though. I do need to fix the window on the newer Z3, which probably means taking the good one out of the scrapper and transferring it to the new one. I could transfer the whole hood, but the hood on the new one is in better condition. And there's lots of sealant involved and stuff, so I'm probably going to dodge that job and just see if I can swap the windows over, which in itself isn't fun. They supposedly zip in and zip out, but it's not that easy by all accounts. That thing I said about not swapping the hoods over and swapping the windows instead. Had another look at this hood. It's actually in better shape than I thought. It's got more warmth and lining than the one that was on the Japanese Z3, and actually load of bolts and nuts and it just pops out. Very little sealant to worry about. It'll all need to clean up before it goes back in. I'm not going to bother spraying these bits because ultimately the other Z3 is going to be a hard top. But yeah, looks like it might be much easier just to swap the hoods rather than swap the windows. So that's the plan. Anyway, thanks for watching. Next episode, I'll get the front of the car on and we can start daydreaming about some aesthetic decisions. Still got to finish off my bush removal tool, get that in the lathe and then get the bushes out of this subframe, give it a fresh lick of paint and get that back in as well. And then we can, yeah, combination of aesthetic decisions and putting the drivetrain back together and you know, other little bits, bit of interior work. Slowly over the next 6 months, yeah, a little 6.5 months now to my deadline to get this on the road as my dream car. Thanks for watching. Please do like and subscribe. Bye bye.